I watched Blue Hour, The Disappearance of Nick Brandreth. It's a mockumentary that is made by a daughter about her father who disappeared in, I believe it was 1997. She ends up getting a lead that there could be a tie to something along the lines of a cult in her father's disappearance. And so she and her film school friends head off to investigate why her father disappeared and what might have happened. The acting in this movie isn't great. There's some good stuff, but some of the acting's pretty wooden. It's not hard to tell it's a mockumentary. They did a pretty good job, though, with some of the news segments to try to make them look like they came from the 90s. The VHS effect can be hard to do, but they did it pretty well here. One thing I will say about this movie is it could have eased up a little bit on the horror references. Just because you reference something and acknowledge that it's a reference of some sort doesn't mean that it's not cringy. The town is named Haddonfield. The place where this happens is Haddonfield Forest. And there's a detective named Arbogast. Now, if you don't know that reference, he's from Psycho. He was the detective in that movie. So, giving him such a unique name, kind of obvious. But it's more cosmic horror than anything. Her father's old friend happened to have some film negatives with him. Her father was a photographer. And so he shows them the film negatives and they develop a few. And his last photos that he took before disappearing, the police think he killed himself, but there's no real proof, is a picture of a door standing alone in a forest. Kind of like in Channel Zero. There's that one episode about, not one episode, it was one season, about like the door in the forest. I think maybe it was a staircase. It's the same kind of thing. So they go investigating because there's clearly something weird going on with this door and there's cult members around it. And the journey that it leads on is very interesting. A little weird. Not necessarily good weird, but interesting weird. Like I said, it leads to a lot of cosmic horror. So you end up with time travel, and I won't spoil anything really. Kind of leave it up to you, but it gets weird. It eventually ends with them walking off into the woods, and like I said, I won't spoil it. The woods are the place where most of this movie takes place, in and around these woods. I think they did a pretty good job. It's not a great movie, but for a mockumentary, it is above passable. I would say it's good. I'd probably give it 3 stars. I wouldn't go to 3.5. I'd give it 3 stars out of 5. I would check it out if I were you, if you're looking for something to have on in the background. It's free on Tubi.